People are strange. Something strange.
Is that strange?
That is strange.
That is strange.
Well, that is strange. This is strange.
And we're here again, Flex. There's so much to talk about. Elon Musk brought his son into the Oval Office, told Trump to shush his mouth.
From one year to the next are the same, and they're.
There's a goat made out of money, made out to Donald Trump. His face is all over it. He says, "I love you." What's going on, dude? Plane crashes.
Man. I would like to unbuckle from this ride that we're on.
No BS,
and
dude.
just,
I hear you.
And just get off and just not hear about any of this, because the last 5 years now, it'll be 5 years next month that this crap has just been going on. So I just want to unstrap myself, pull the ripcord, get out, fly, and just
Well, I mean, to be fair,
give me a week without any of this crap going on, man.
Yeah, it's like 5 years is just how long you've been noticing the BS happen.
Well, that's
and
true.
It's like the blue pill got washed out of you, nothing but red pill, and now you see the Matrix code, and it's just, it sucks, dude. You know?
Yeah. I don't even know if I would consider myself red pilled now.
Right.
Because I don't know how much of this is real anymore. Like it really is. Everything is just so scripted that are we just being played, or is there, I'm always still thinking white hat, black hats, and I'll bring that up tonight, being like, is this the plan of the white hats to really just smother everything in gravy,
right,
and just figure it out for yourself?
Dude,
and I like gravy, by the way.
I like gravy too. It's excellent on some
especially
turkey.
on my French fries with cheese curd, which is poutine. So
Ooh,
for you Canadians,
nice.
So if we become your 51st state, you guys get some pretty cool poutine recipes.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. We have plenty of plane crashes, if I can get the word out.
Oh,
but you
man.
guys had a horrible plane crash just a couple days ago in Toronto. What's going on with that?
Yeah, this happened last night. A friend of mine sent me a video, and then I messaged her back saying, well, there goes my fear of flying, because my not fear of flying, because I didn't like flying for a while. And then and from 2013 to when I moved out here, I flew like 13 times. So I got over it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I see this video that she sent me yesterday, and I'm telling you right up, folks, none of this is adding up. I think it's all just staged. I think this is all just staged. I find it very interesting that there's always a vehicle or someone parked catching all these planes.
Right.
Either
they got the perfect camera footage.
There's been 8 plane incidences since December 25th or 26th.
8.
And 8 of them. Yeah. I have a list. I think I sent you the list. If not, I can send it to you. And it's very strange that it's happening all at one time. I'm not sure if this is to scare us from not wanting to fly and keep us in our little things here. But so here, this is Toronto. This is this plane, which to me, I think is AI. I don't think that's even real.
Right.
I think this is
maybe it is. I don't know. It's weird.
This is staged. And I've been to that airport. I don't know where the buildings are. Like, I know exactly where this airplane is landing. I can't see. Now, this is my opinion, folks, because this is my hometown airport in Toronto.
So, like, this guy recording this is in a plane, or is this in a car? What is this?
I have no idea. He's just sitting there.
I mean,
and
there's what is that building right back there? That looks like
I have no idea. I have no idea, because our buildings we have a very unique looking building. Airport. I mean, that could be a hangar. But
right.
When you go to the other footage, and before you play the other footage, this is the first time that I'm actually nervous living up here in Canada, and I'll tell you why.
Uh-oh.
We've never had anything like this happen that relates to the numbers that we talk about. So that plane crash, quotations, happened 33 weeks since July 1st, which is the founding date of Canada.
Whoa.
So immediately people came out. July 1st to yesterday's when it happened is 33 weeks.
On the dot?
Exactly. on the dot.
Okay.
And I was like, huh, great. Because I was thinking, this is just stuff with the dates. You see a lot of that in the US and other places, but especially the US. So I saw that video this morning and I went and looked at him. Well, yeah, he's right. I went and checked it. And the video that I got sent last night was not the plane crashing. It was when it was already turned over and someone inside the plane started filming. So before you watch this, before you watch this, let me just explain a few things that look very iffy to me. Trying to unbuckle yourself when you're upside down would be very difficult to do. You would need ambulances and firefighters there. So when they go outside, you see no smoke, and that thing was engulfed in flames. Yeah, sorry.
You see the thumbs up.
You see no smoke. You don't see any emergency rescue crews. You just see people walking off the plane doing this. They don't look shocked. They're not in panic. There apparently was 17 or 19 people. I think it was 19 people that were critically that were okay.
Right. Yeah.
And three that are critically injured. So 9 and 1 is 10 plus 3 is your 13. So there's some numbers there.
Okay.
But I just look at it like, when they leave the plane, it reminds me how people were acting at the Trump thing.
The shooting,
where I'm like, people are not panicking. You don't see any rescue team there. The guy talking sounds like it's scripted. When you see the person leave the plane, there's a big smile on the guy's face. The woman's ass gets grabbed as she's leaving. There's a lot of weird stuff. That's funny stuff that I saw.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out real quick. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
Kablamo. So this is the video we just watched.
No!
Okay.
Tower, you're seeing this airplane?
Come on.
Look at the guy smiling right here. See? Smiling.
Yeah.
Well, look at these people.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Oh my.
Right here. So I got the full video here too.
Yeah. And if you play the full one, it's just a lot of, I'm watching the reaction of people and they just look like they're walking off.
Well, like let's just go through this real slow because.
So watch the ass grab right there. Oop, ass grab.
Oh yeah. She's just getting her out of there. She's not even pushing her. Look, she just grabs her ass. She doesn't even give her a push.
No, she just
like,
grabs
what's the point in that? Oh, there we go. Now she's pushing. Okay.
Yeah.
Ups a doozy. There we go.
And then you see this guy on the right smiling. Look, he's smiling.
Yeah.
But there's no emergency people there. These people don't look like they're panicking, which you would see on a crash.
Look at him. Hey there,
where's the
guys.
rest of the people?
Did you guys have fun
what I mean?
on that landing?
G'day, mate. I'm from Australia.
I see ya. Come on out of there. Yeah, this is a stage job. Come on out of there. Yeah, you're next.
This all looks staged to me.
Come on now. He looks like a chef. He's bringing you the dinner. Did you enjoy the steak? This is great. Come on out there now, chap.
We have the best escargots, but this just to me looks like I can't see any of the airport around them.
Right.
And Toronto,
you're right.
Yeah, Toronto airport does not look like that, folks. This looks like it's an airport out in the middle of nowhere and they're just filming shit. That is not Toronto's airport.
Flex is from Canada. He knows. He's been to this airport
I have
numerous
flown
times.
in and out of that airport 13 times in the last year.
Ooh, demonic number.
I'm looking for I don't understand why they always catch them on film.
So like over here, this building, is that not a building back there or no?
Yeah, but not like if you saw guys, like these buildings are massive. It's one of the largest airports in North America.
I'll look it up. But yeah, like the angle purposefully leaves the building out of the shot.
Where are the fire department and emergency people? They're there first. They have people on site at every airport.
It's this large building or this large vehicle back here that's providing whatever.
But there's no people, emergency people or firefighters there to help the people walk off. You would never see that. They would be there instantly.
I'm going to look up the Toronto
And the thing is,
airport.
a lot of people have said the same thing, being like, this just looks iffy. you know, so that made me start to think, like, a lot of these plane crashes, are they actually happening with people in them, or are they just, you know? And the reason why I'm saying this, folks, is because when I looked at the DC crash, and I went on last night and today.
Here, so this is like a
yeah, like
a view of the build. This building was not in the shot, but they weren't facing that way. They were facing the other way, looking out.
But when it landed, you couldn't see that building.
Right.
Like that's a totally different building. The roof is so different.
Doesn't it?
The roof is much different. Yeah.
Looks completely different.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Huh. Yeah. See, like they have these weird vehicles out there. Here, let me.
Yeah. Like we have 3 terminals. Like it's massive, massive. Like to the right of that crane looking thing, there should be buildings all and other planes. It's a massive place, massive. And when it's landing and crashes, you know,
like Toronto where is all of this building? But like when they're filming,
yeah,
that's weird, dude. That is weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. And a lot of people from Toronto, because which I appreciate, you know, all those people that are waking up now. Mm-hmm. And when I look at some of the comments, they're like, I'm from Toronto. That doesn't look like our airport.
Right.
Why do these people don't look like they're in pain or screaming? Like, where's that building? Like they just added it in. It's just been added in.
Look at this. There's a gigantic city behind everybody.
Yep. There's
a Wendy's, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Where was that in the footage? I didn't see that.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. This looks like a barren looking place where I think what we saw was AI crashing and or a miniature or a hologram.
I mean, I guess this could be some sort of building structure way back in the back there.
Yeah, but when you compare it to the photos that you're just showing, it'd be a lot closer.
Right.
That just doesn't look like Toronto's airport. That's an open field.
Right. Yep.
And Toronto, there's a lot of stuff around it. A lot of stuff around it. So
that's bizarre. So you think they're faking this to get you what? Afraid of flying?
Well, here's the thing. With the DC crash, I went and researched this afternoon, and I was highlighting people's names that crashed, like the skaters and the families that crashed in that. And almost 8 or 9 times out of 10, I couldn't find anything on Google about them. Couldn't find anything about them. I would type in funeral for this family. You couldn't see anything for them. It's nothing. There's nothing. Like,
so
it's just
when you say the skaters, you're talking about the initial plane crash in Washington, D.C. between the American Eagle
the
plane
helicopter.
and the Black Hawk. Yeah.
And I that's why I don't think there was anybody now maybe on that.
Well, it was so
helicopter.
weird. You had like Tanya Harding sign up to X the day after, and then you have Nancy Kerrigan like having an emotional response to this plane, right? And like, like, what? Ice skaters just out of nowhere.
Yeah. You know, and I feel what we watched with Toronto are probably just actors. And maybe some of these planes don't have people on them, because when I go to search and look, and I was looking pretty good this afternoon on the manifest of the people on the flight. And I found an article that mentioned everybody, and I would highlight each person, copy and paste it into Google. Nothing would really show up. I'd say funeral services or in remembrance of or obituary. So that's what I was just kind of doing this afternoon, going like, there's no information on these people outside of what we've been told. And I'm just like, oh, all right. I mean, that was just me this afternoon, just being fed up with this, being like, is this where my head's going with all this? And if people did die, I mean, listen, I hope that's not the case. You know, I actually hope it's the other way around, that they're just putting this out there. They're faking this shit to either warn us about something.
Well,
no,
dude,
maybe
I mean,
go ahead.
This totally looks like AI, like you were saying. Hold on just a second here. I'm going to try to make this big screen and then turn it all the way down. But like, just watch this come in.
Where's the building? Where's the buildings?
Yeah, this looks like AI. Look at that plane.
Yeah.
It sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the contrast of everything else.
Yes.
Look at it. It looks like a movie, dude. There's the building right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It does look very CGI / AI. And
I've been working with AI recently for some of the editing that I'm doing, and I can do some pretty cool stuff. And I'm like, I'm nowhere. I'm illiterate to it right now because I've just been working on it. I'm nowhere at the technology that they have. But I'm trying to think now what is going on here? Like, why planes all of a sudden?
Mhm.
Now, is it the white hats telling us don't fly because bad stuff will happen? So they're putting out fake stuff. Folks, I'm going by how I was 4 years ago, being like, you got one side that's doing evil stuff and the other side's trying to tell us maybe this is not the time to fly. We're trying to figure stuff out. Now that talked to me 2 years ago, that would have been how I was thinking,
Mhm.
being like, what is this telling us? Now I'm still asking, what is this telling us? But I have no idea what it's telling us, because this happened in Toronto and I'm like 33 weeks after July 1st, which is our Canada Day. The people don't look like they're injured or upset. There's no medical people. There's just anomalies with it,
Now-
which is what we do here. We show you the anomalies. We show you the patterns we're seeing.
So there was, so with Pardon My American, we did a show on this yesterday, and there was, I forget who it was who left a comment. I'm sorry, I forget your name, but I read the comment this morning, and she said that she had a friend who was an airline, stewardess, or she works for the airlines or something. And she said that, yeah, there was a flight right before them, and they said that they had to circle around for a while because it was too windy to land. And it was like reported winds of 40 miles per hour. So that didn't look like they lost control because of wind.
No.
That just looked like a fucking plane blew up, dude. You know what I mean?
It looked like it was coming in too fast. It kind of looks like the landing gear, the front landing gear, is being pulled back up as it's coming down.
But this goes.
It doesn't look real. And the people getting off the plane, like, do you know how hard it would be if you're upside down? You have to unbuckle people,
Right?
And they're older adults, like seniors or older people. You'd have to wait for the paramedics to get there, or you'd have people holding their head because they just fell from being upside down. No one.
Right.
They're all coming off and just grabbing their coats, and
Right.
And the guy's comment was like, "Oh my God, I was just on a plane." Like,
Yeah.
It's 9/11 again, where it's just like, I saw a plane hit the building. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And that plane that just nosedive exploded like a bomb in Philadelphia right before the Super Bowl. That plane, when they were like finding chunks of it in the street, looked brand new. Like the chunk looked brand new, dude. Like it wasn't.
I think that was a I think that was a missile. I'm sorry that there was such an explosion to that. And actually, I'm not going to apologize, because the majority of people online are like, no plane makes an explosion like that. With the fire, maybe because of the gas in the wings, but not how it just, and they had these pieces of planes that look brand new,
right?
Which I feel it's the whole Pentagon thing again, where they just kind of drop pieces of the plane down. There's no engine parts. There's no nothing.
Here, hold on just a second here. Like this, I'm going to turn this all the way down.
It's not even scorched.
Look, it's dented.
Like, yeah.
But like that blew up.
Yeah.
Like that just.
Where's the fire? Where's the scorching? Where's the black, brown, yellow marks you would have from the fire?
It's just like
hitting the ground.
It looks like it got
just placed
torn, right? It got torn out of it and then just thrown and beaten with a hammer. It doesn't look like it was on fire at all, right?
You can't convince me any less now that these are all staged events. Whether there's real people on board, I have no idea. But I'm now kind of like, if I can't find information on the deceased people, and I'm using a VPN, so I'm basically my phone is saying I'm in the United States, so it's not like I'm being blocked by Canadian media up here. I just don't. This is tickling me in a very weird way that I don't like.
Right. But the question is like, why, and it's everybody goes back to, they want you afraid to fly because they want you to stay stuck in your 15-minute city. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking on the one side. And if the other side is, in control, white hats, whatever. I mean, I'm almost now embarrassed to say it, but I'll say it in the sense that we do have people that still believe in that. I hope that's the case. But every week that goes by, that diminishes more and more and more. Like I'm down to less than 5% now, thinking it was there's a white hat and black hat, and this is being done to what? Wake up people about what? Not to fly?
Right. Well, so like you have to wake up people by injecting them with miracle medicine, and then hey, if they live, whatever. So
yeah,
that's my thing. Is I think it's more white magic, black magic, and the intention is I want eyeballs on me. I want to capture your attention and do something with it, right? It's about harnessing the energy.
The energy,
And that's
for sure.
like, why do you think they call it capturing your attention? They're capturing this like in a bottle. They're sealing it up and then they're using it for whatever they can do it with, right?
Well, there's a new movie coming out. Donut posted something. I don't know if I shared it to you, but there's a new movie coming on Netflix that's basically talking about
I'll
the
try to find it.
cyber attack and then planes falling out of the sky and
Yeah,
and,
Zero Day, right?
0 Day. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Q was all talking about. Prepare for 0 Day. Here's
There it is.
Donut's post.
Yep.
Everybody go follow Donut on X. But yeah, it's like 0 Day, an upcoming American political thriller television series created by Eric Newman, blah, 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 blah. Starring Robert De Niro. It is described as a political conspiracy thriller centering on a devastating global cyber attack. It premieres on February 20th.
Well, February 20th, I'll make sure not to watch it because De Niro can suck my right.
Yeah, he can.
Can suck my third nut, brother. Sorry.
That's like, like this. And he has like a picture of Jack when Jack Dorsey was in charge of X or Twitter.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Don't know.
You know what I mean? Like what?
Joined the Taliban? I mean, he grew out his beard and did something. I don't know.
Things move so fast. I can't keep up with it. That's why I said I want to, I don't even want to unplug myself on this. I just want to snap off the harness and just fly off and just let me just have a week.
But have you ever looked up the
Maybe two.
definition of 0 Day? It actually does have, it's a vulnerability here. It's, this is Wikipedia. I know it's like not a great source, but in a pinch. So 0 Day is a vulnerability in software or hardware that is typically unknown to the vendor, for which no patch or other fix is available. The vendor thus has 0 days to prepare a patch as the vulnerability has already been described or exploited. And I remember back in the day of that whole Q stuff, there was one that was talking about prepare for 0 Day, Google going down, Yahoo going down, Amazon everything going down, right? And so it fits kind of what Donut was saying here,
Yeah.
What I bet you, and he's probably alluding to this in the episode. I haven't watched his episode yet, but he's probably alluding to a plane going down due to some sort of cyber malicious attack, right?
Yeah, and maybe landing somewhere where multiple people get hurt or die. Like everyone thought something was going to happen at the Super Bowl, and they do that. They just have us on edge. And I never think it's going to be something very big. I think it's going to be a lot of these small things to keep us nervous about something big happening. I mean, do you think something big's happening, Greg? Like, what's your opinion on where are we going? Like, what is there going to be this?
Dude, I think I
don't know.
Look at even Leave the World Behind, dude. This I'm not gonna play the whole clip, but you have this plane crash.
Oh, right.
On the
and it flies right into the house.
Well, it flies into this beach, but like it's because there was a cyber attack thingy on it, right? And the plane lost control because it didn't. It basically was attacked, and whatever happened, to this cyber attack, it lost control. So there's predictive programming. That's what I was trying to say. Is they're showing you through movies, and going back to what Donut just posted, this 0 Day with Robert De Niro, Robert De Zero. He's that was a stupid dad joke, I know.
No, that's a good one actually.
Oh yeah.
I'm starting a t-shirt company, by the way. I haven't told anybody yet because I apparently say quite a funny few things, but I'm like, there's one right there.
Dude, yeah, we gotta come out with a Strange Sauna clothing line.
Strange Sauna, Robert De Zero, Mark Zuckerfuck. Like, we got to come up with any. Yeah, we'll do it, folks.
There we go. But yeah, as far as what do I think is going to happen, I could see them using a cyber attack to get us into a world war conflict. I think that you're going to have a world conflict. I think that when you look at Albert Pike, it's been predicted that you will have a world conflict between Israel and some Muslim nation, right? We're really getting on the border here of Iran and Israel attacking one another. Now, if you have like Iran, Russia, China all group up and they go attack Taiwan, take over the NVIDIA chip market of the world, why do you think Trump wanted to start Project Stargate here in America? He wants us to build microchips and build this AI infrastructure so that way we can kind of sustain and we won't have to worry about Taiwan. But it's also,
and I get that.
a big risk.
I get that. Every country should be able to sustain and develop things that can keep their GDP growth going. Like we as Canadians too right now are like, oh, we're going to boycott the US. And I laugh saying, well, our Tim Horton coffee shop is owned by the US. Starbucks is owned by the US, Netflix, UPS, Amazon. So like, come on, Canada, like how are you going to boycott? It's all owned by the US, you know? So I think the US is being smart by doing a lot of what they're planning to do, but it's also very shifty because I don't know who's the president right now.
Right. Yeah. Mr. Elon is all over that guy.
You and I had a little chat, a text chat the other day. I was sitting in my buddy's pickup truck and he was looking at some camera gear and I was in there for about an hour and by myself. And I started watching videos and I said to Greg, message Greg, and I'm like what's really going on with Elon? Like, when you give that kind of money to a campaign, $240 or $50 million.
Wasn't it every day? Like he was giving millions of dollars to his campaign every day.
What is owed to you? What does he have on Trump? There's something going on here. Yep. There's something going on here.
There he is.
Those are Biden's hands, I think.
Yeah, they must be.
That's not Trump. That's for sure.
Right.
And I was messaging Greg being like, I feel like he has something on Trump. I was trying to find the video or rally or interview where Trump said, we don't need your votes. We've got this taken care of. And there was something going on with Pennsylvania where 3 hours or 2 hours beforehand, Musk was like, we have it. We want it. So did they have to cheat to get Trump in to win this battle? If I was to think how I used to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or is it because he bought the presidency, you know? And I'm just, you know, what's your thought on that? Because I really don't think, I'm starting to think Trump is not really in charge with a lot of this stuff. Or are they going to turn on each other eventually, like a WWE storyline for WrestleMania? Like, is something going to happen here?
Well, so that's the deal is when you look at, was Trump put in, right? Was he selected, not elected? And now, like, we all talk about the election of 2020 and the big old chart that went straight up, and that was never really resolved. It wasn't even addressed. I mean, it was like addressed when it was happening, but it was like swept under the rugs. You know, we were like censored, heavily censored, talking about voter, you know,
so
issues.
Before we get into that, going back to 2016, there was always this notion that the military invited or put Trump in. Do you still believe that? Because when he was doing his inauguration speech and talked about giving it back to the American people, the military came down the stairs, stood behind him. And this is stuff, folks, that if it is scripted, they did this on purpose to get people believing, have him lose 2020, have 2020 to 2024 just a shit show, and then you're begging for this guy to come back. But do you think the military, I feel he was selected from the very beginning from
right. Yes. I don't think it was the military. I think it might have been a foreign nation. Oh. And I'm trying to find the article where it's talking about a foreign country had some sort of influence on the you know what of 2016.
I think at this point, many countries have influences on it. How could they not? Especially when you have trade deals and, you know, people investing money into your campaign,
right? Slush
funds, well, dark web money.
Yeah,
laundering.
I don't know if I can find it right off the top of my head. I mean, as we I'm looking through my notes, but essentially the whole thing that happened with gosh, what's his name? He's like a
Because I remember people in the Q movement saying that the military had asked or told Trump to run. Now I don't remember reading it. I wasn't a Q guy in the sense where I was reading all the posts. I would just see what everyone posted and basically what you would bring up, Greg, because back in the day you were into it and you would talk about it. But I found it very interesting that, maybe I actually thought that they cheated to get Trump in 2016 when I thought there was a white hat and black hats. I thought the white hats put him in. They had to cheat to get him in.
Right.
And I feel they did it again with Elon, but this time I'm not trusting it, especially when Elon is, I feel like he's a non-elected person. And I've sent you videos of him going to meet with other countries and leaders. And he's in the White House wearing t-shirt and a jacket when there is a dress code, and his son, creepy ass little son. So
yeah, dude, he takes that creepy ass son everywhere. X. And that's what it's just like. He's obsessed with the letter X, and he names his child X, and he wears them on his head like a freaking Novus Ordo,
like a shield,
well,
or like a shield of some type.
It reminds me of the Lion King, when he's holding up the new Sun King, and he's holding up X to the world, and so
he hasn't been a part of any of his children's lives, and then all of a sudden you've got this little kid who's just being is like the poster boy for the two of them. I almost feel like Elon and Trump are the sugar or the daddies, and that's the son they made. Like, it's kind of getting a little silly. Right.
Well, I do want to get into that too with Elon, but I did find this article that I was talking about. Redacted FBI document hints that Israeli efforts to help Trump. You click on that and you get a forbidden sign, so you have to go to the Wayback Machine to pull it up. So that should tell you something. So affidavit quotes Trump confidant Roger Stone being told by a Jerusalem contact, he is going to be defeated unless we intervene. We have critical intel. The key is in your hands. And so this is a redacted FBI document that hints that Israeli efforts to help Trump in his 2016 campaign. Now, this I go over this article in the whole Trump Antichrist 4-part series thing. But again, with the 2024 election, we had another incident that got erased from the internet. I think I sent you the link to it. But it was this other article that discussed, like, there was a voter thing going on with it. So I'm not saying like there was any cheating involved, but I'm just saying you have these articles that are written and then removed from the internet, maybe because they were shitty sources. I don't know. But this is the Jerusalem or Times of Israel that posted this. It's not like some weird, conservativebeaver.com or something, something weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, it's strange to me that you have these articles and you have these FBI documents. Now, do I trust the FBI? Hell no. And that's another thing where I'm like, okay, of course they were looking to get after him. They were trying to find anything, right?
And I find it so difficult for me to comprehend why there's people that don't trust the FBI, but when it's on something that's on our side, we trust them. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. The whole thing needs to be taken, wiped out, and started and cleaned up, which, apparently that's going to happen. But you can't trust one side and not at all the other when we're seeing on a daily basis just lies and manipulation and psyops happening to us on an hourly basis. Forget daily basis.
Well, I do want to say that I think that that's done on purpose. I think that they put the mistrust of these bad actors, right? They use the bad actors to spoil the whole damn bunch, right? Because like now people don't trust medicine. They don't trust the judicial system. They don't trust our intelligence agencies. Not that they ever really did, but I'm just saying, like, you use these pinpointed cherry picked events, and there is a lot of them when they go after Trump. And I will give them that. Like they have gone after him unfairly, and it's not fair, right? So, but I think they use that to move, to build this movement to push the people against it.
Yes.
So that way, if there are truths that do come out, people won't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying,
a double psyop, which is basically, or a triple psyop that's going on. That's why I think nobody can get a straight answer. On either side, even if there is still such thing as white hat and black hats, nobody knows what's going on because they're psyoping each other.
Right. Well,
talking
so
in code.
I know, and that's what I can't stand the code talk anymore. I mean, I get it. It is like a thing, and sometimes I guess you have to do it, but I do want to talk about Elon's 13th child now. So this is Ashley St. Clair. She came out on Twitter or X and said, 5 months ago, I welcomed a new baby into this world. Elon Musk is the father. I've not previously disclosed this to protect our child's privacy and safety, but in recent days, it has become clear that tabloid media intends to do so, regardless of the harm that it will cause. I intend to allow our child to grow in the normal and safe environment. For that reason, I ask that the media honor our child's privacy and refrain from invasive reporting, right? But look, she tweeted this with the phrase alia lac or iacta est. And I was like, what is that? Alia iacta est. Right?
Well, S stands for established, but I don't know what the other two.
Right. And so I looked this up. I'm just going to pull it up again on good old Wikipedia, I guess. But it's Roman. It means the die is cast. That's what it's translated into. And it has to do with crossing the Rubicon. It's associated with, it's the point of no return.
Mm-hmm.
So she puts this tweet out there saying, this is the point of no return. And it has to do with Suetonius to Julius Caesar on January 10th, 49 BC, as he led the army across the Rubicon River in northern Italy in defiance of the Roman Senate. And this was the beginning of a long civil war. So it kind of marked the event that set off the Roman Civil War. And she posted that tweet with it. And I was like, what? So here's your Alia iacta est. Right? And it has this whole Julius Caesar before crossing the river.
There'd be no reason to post that if you didn't mean something. And that's why sometimes I want to reach out and strangle people that are like, well, it doesn't mean anything. I said it may not mean anything to us guys, but to them it does. You know, like if she's going to put that on the tweet, there's a reason why she put that on the tweet. I actually am surprised is this the 13th kid he's had?
This is the 13th child, dude.
And yeah, and were you the one that said he's never had sex with anybody?
Correct. Yeah. So here, you take a look at this, and then I'm going to pull up an article. So this is his lineage. These are the four different women that he's had children with.
So Michael Jackson did this, and people shit on him, and this dude's now done it 13 times, and people are like, why are you bringing this child around now if you don't want anything to do with all these other kids?
So with Justine Wilson, back in the day, he had 7 boys. Vivian is now a transgender. Nevada was the 10-week-old child that died, the very firstborn. So the firstborn died. You had a son turn into a woman, and
we've talked about how the Illuminati will sacrifice the firstborn and or transgender a child.
Right. With Grimes, he had 3, so everybody knows who X is, and then he has Exa Darkside Rael. Which,
for heaven's sakes,
I think that's very interesting, dude, because Rael is the name of the leader of the Raelians. And if you look at it, I.S. Rael is Rael, Israel.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? What's with Rael? What are we? Dark Side Rael? Like Dark Side? You're naming your child Dark Side Rael. Okay. And then Techno Mechanicus. So, I mean, there's just a bunch of fucking garbly-gook over here, okay? And then...
And in your opinion, Greg, how many of these do you think are actually his kids, honestly?
I think all of them.
You think all of them?
Yeah. If you look at their faces, they got the same kind of hint of Musk. Ooh,
hint of Musk.
They're all musky, you know?
Because I question everything now. I have to. I have to.
I think he is doing what Epstein was going to do on the Zorro Ranch. I think he's into the same shit, dude. I think that
he create a new bloodline.
Yeah, and he's doing it via. IVF and surrogacy. So this is what I was talking about. This is an article from Forbes, everybody. Elon Musk's babies were conceived via IVF and surrogacy. Is it the future of reproduction? And this was in 2022.
And all his kids have been like this?
Yes, every single one of them.
So he hasn't synced the pink in anybody?
Nope. He has not.
Man.
He has not, sir.
Guys, come on.
So let's
Wow.
see here. I'm going to try to go up here. Yeah, let's get rid of that.
This guy is a freak, man. I'm sorry.
So
And he's
this is not
the right-hand man to Trump now. Come on, this is beyond creepy. This is scary.
So his first 5 boys came into the world of IVF, and the last girl was delivered using a surrogate mother. And this is, Nevada died of SIDS. And you have...
So why not have a sexual relation at least with one of these people?
Right?
Why not just with one? Be normal and have, maybe it's half and half. But for you to say to me that every child has been conceived this way, it's...
Yep. And even Amber Heard and Elon were getting in this battle over these cryopreserved embryos. Because remember, Elon was dating Amber Heard there for a while.
Was she? Oh, was he?
Yes.
Man, it's Hollywood and all this. They're so incestual. My God, they all sleep with each other. The Amber Heard from Johnny Depp, the same one?
Yeah, the one that shit on the bed. Yeah.
Yeah. God almighty.
So, like, who the hell knows? But, like, this other one here, if you could see the screen here. So in recent weeks, rumors surfaced that he had 2 more kids with a board member of OpenAI and an executive at Neuralink. Sex of the babies were not disclosed. So this is, he actually had 3 kids. These are, so with Siobhan Zillis right here, you have these 2 kids. That's a little hint of Elon and a little hint of Elon there. But there's a 3rd kid that's not in the picture. Their 3rd child, father Biden Musk, was absent from the picture. And all of these kids were made in vitro.
That's what I mean. Like,
IVF.
come on.
And they admit it in this article. I don't know where it's at. But
And like, has he ever addressed that? Has anyone had the hardball question to ask him, being, hey, man, like, do you not like having sex with women? You just like to put it in a cup and say, here you go. Like, that's just creepy.
Well, it's, yeah. I mean,
I don't know how you ask that question on a interview, like maybe CNN or ABC, but they don't like him, obviously, because he's tied to Trump. How come none of them have said, don't you find, like, CNN hasn't done a story on this yet? Like, how do you find it creepy that this guy doesn't like to get in there sexually with...
I mean, to be fair, this article was on, from Forbes, and this was all like, this is a really long article about IVF, surrogacy, and it's the wave of the future, moving into sperm and egg banks at your service. And just today, actually, Trump expanded IVF coverage. He's giving insurance companies 3 months to figure out how they can lessen costs, because it's like, what, 12 to 20 grand to do IVF, right?
It's a lot. I had a friend who spent close to 50 grand.
So it's very strange. You have last week Elon in the news about this 13th child, and it was IVF, bro. Like, there's no way that it wasn't. Like, if 12 of his other kids were either IVF or surrogate, there's no way this is a natural born birth. You can't convince me. And then all of a sudden today you have Trump talking about IVF expansion. It's like, what?
And why so much in a short period of time? Like, I feel, between the inauguration till now, it's just been a whirlwind. It's like they're not spreading things out. Like, and by not spreading things out, his own following, his own people, like the MAGA people, are still not. Now we're starting to go, this is getting a little shifty with some of the stuff he's doing. If he had spreads it out, maybe it's not that noticeable. But in 5 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks,
dude,
it's moving at such a rapid pace.
I read an article coming in, just driving in this afternoon, and it said that Trump referred to himself as the father of fertility. And I was like, so he was the father of the vaccine. Now he's the father of fertility?
Yeah, he just says some dumb shit now.
I am the father of fertility.
Just silly shit. And that's why I'm asking, honestly, to anybody out there, you can put in the comments, who do you think is really running this presidency? Because I'm starting to, when I saw Trump sitting at the desk with a little kid and Elon there, and I sent you a video of this one guy saying you could see the shift in power. This guy is not even in dress code as you're supposed to be when you're inside the president's Oval Office.
Right.
And I'm kind of like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, this guy's just doing what he wants, when he wants, which tells me, A, he owns the presidency. He has something on Trump, maybe. This is all the questions I was asking Greg via text. Or is this a setup that down the road Trump is exposing him for something? Because you'll have those people say, keep your enemies closest to you. You know, and I don't know what was Trump's relationship with Elon
before this?
A year ago. Yeah.
Non-existent. Now that's
what I mean.
That's why it's so strange, because
like,
it was weird. When I did the whole Trump Antichrist series, I was looking at it very skeptically, and I was like, dude, I don't know if any of this makes sense, because a large part of it was that in the book of Revelation, you have the dragon, right, give rise to the whore of Babylon. The whore of Babylon comes riding in on this beast, and there's the beast who gives power to the false prophet. Now, I could be butchering this whole thing, but there's three heads to the Antichrist system. There's the dragon, there's the first beast, and then there's the false prophet. And Trump and Elon were kind of tied together as this amalgamation of the Antichrist and false prophet, that mixture. And I was like, well, Elon Musk hates Trump at the time, right? This is well before this was even a thing. And I was like, so Elon Musk wants nothing to do with Trump, and they're not even kind of related to this. So like, Elon Musk just bought X at the time, and he was like kind of dabbling in free speech and stuff. So I was like, I don't see how this could happen. But now you look at these two, and they're nearly inseparable. Yeah. This guy is everywhere around Trump.
And I feel like he's the dude that's in charge. I sent you a video where he's meeting with world leaders, and it's like, you're not an elected official. Like, why are you meeting with world leaders?
Look at this. Here is a Trump extended family with Elon and little X. This is the Trump family with Elon. What the hell is he doing in there? This is a family photo, bro.
Yeah, come on.
Why is Elon in the family photo with Trump? And then what is with all this stuff going on here? Is this at Mar-a-Lago? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He has an 8-pointed star there.
It would go along with that statue that's made out of money, goat, whatever it was. Like.
Oh, that silly thing? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's just getting creepier and creepier day by day with this administration. And they are doing some good things, which is why people are like, you're getting started. But I'm like, but they're throwing in like the goat. Is that
this is a golden-hoofed.
Is it Baphomet goat? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's covered in what is this, $100 bill with Trump's face on it. But here is what I found on this. This is what people are writing, and I don't even know who this person is, but it says, hold your horses, people. It's not an idol, and it's not President Trump's goat. It's going up for auction by an organization called the Global Offensive Against Trafficking for a project called Project Goat. They are decorating many goats in different ways that they auction off to raise money for the fight against human trafficking. Trump signed it for them, probably to add value, and it's on display until the auction. And so I'm just saying, like, they're saying it was fitting because he's the GOAT of all presidents, greatest of all time, right? But that is just an excuse.
Why with,
if I've ever heard
why
one.
with why with $100 bills? Like, if you're trying to fight trafficking, and you've got his face on there with $100 bills, are you telling me he's the one buying kids with, you know, like,
Right.
I'm like, what are you tying this into, man? Like, nah, sorry. This is, like I said, like I've been saying this, I feel like a broken record today, especially. They're moving things so fast and so quickly that even his own base now is starting to question, you know, what is going on with Elon, what is going on with,
Right.
you know, him saying he wants to buy or control the Gaza Strip. Like,
But look at this.
what is going on?
On the dollar bill, you usually say it says "In God we trust." Now it says "In Trump we trust."
Yeah, come on.
Like, what? You're replacing God with Trump now? Is that what we're doing?
And there was a video where I think I sent you as well, RFK Jr. Robert Kennedy Jr. is saying Trump is the guy to come in on the white horse.
Right.
You know, and I feel they're going to do bait and switch. I think they're using him to get people to not shy away from vaccines anymore, especially with this AI technology. And I'm starting to feel that's Robert Kennedy Jr.'s reason why he's in here is he's
Right.
going to turn the tables, and they're going to bait and switch.
But that's my point, though. I think that I don't know if all vaccines are bad, right? I'm just going to say that. Like, I have a suspicion that there's something that they, you know, like with the mercury and like the heavy metals, and like there's definitely people who have bad reactions. I'm not going to take that away from them. I know that there's people there's children who have had terrible reactions, and you can't ever go back, right? So that's something that we need to look into. But I don't know if everything is made, you know, like to be a drug to hurt people, right? I think that there's good and there's bad in every situation that we're in, whether that be pharmaceuticals, whether that be the judicial system, whether that be everything, or all forms of government. It can be used for good and used for bad. And I feel like what we've been through in this whole like Q stuff and this dark to light, and sometimes you have to walk through the dark to get to the light. That's literally what Q said. So I'm like, oh, so we have to go through this. It's a big ritual. It's just like Freemasons, dude. Like, you got to go through this humiliation ritual. Everybody went through it. The whole world went through a gigantic humiliation ritual. And now we get to, you know, walk into the light, right? Then that's what some have said. Like the Donnie Darkin has said, like, you know, this is a false light system. This isn't like the true light. But it basically set Trump up for such an easy win. And like,
yeah, it's
people
a slam
don't,
dunk.
Right. Because like people don't want, like they basically put the boot down on people's neck. They forced them into mandates. They did a bunch of stuff with Biden that went against the Constitution. And now Trump steps in. He's getting rid of, like, you know, these are like just, you know, whatevers, right? Getting rid of transgenders in military. He's banning certain things here and there. And it's like, okay, those were like, I don't give a shit. You know, like, honestly, like, I get it, but it's like, it's not the end of the world to me. But
yeah, instead of doing that, you need to open up an investigation on 2020 and what happened to the entire world. You need to open up an investigation on the 2020, you know, the thing they stole. And until that ever happens, and I'm talking that needs to be, even before 9/11, even before anything else, you need to address that, because that is where there's a lack of what's the word I'm looking for?
transparency.
Transparent. There's a lack of trust. There's zero trust now in medicine or vaccines, in the judicial system, in government, more than ever. And it's just like, I know you had to burn it down to a certain point, but you injured and you killed a lot of people in 2020, 2021. The father of the you-know-what still hasn't addressed it. And now you have RFK Jr., you know, who I feel like I was saying earlier is the bait and switch, where to get people to trust in it again, because I don't think there's bad people in all these agencies. I think there's good people that work in the CIA and the FBI and in government, but they have no control. Like this is just a massive beast or massive kraken with tentacles that go out throughout the entire world. Every government, every government, every corporation, anybody, and I don't see how this gets cleaned up.
Oh, I see how
when-
it gets cleaned up super easy. You just
You
have
know?
Annalena Paulina or whatever, Anna Paulina get in there, former stripper. She was a classified stripper back in the 1990s. And
I don't know who this is. But she's pretty hot. I'm saying that.
yeah, she's gorgeous. But she used to be basically a dancer, like an erotic dancer. Now she just got pulled in to lead this declassification of secrets, right? You're talking 9/11, UFOs, Jeffrey Epstein, Big C, Little V, all of these assassinations. So what?
I don't care about COVID-19 origins. I know where it came from. I want to talk about who made it, why it was put out the way it was, and why we were forced to that.
Right.
Like they put that up there going like a majority of people that are awake know where it came from.
But this is the problem. This is the problem, though, because we were told by Trump, if you let me in, if you vote for me, I'm going to release all the files. I'm going to, you're going to release the files unredacted. And he signed an executive order. He says, we've been waiting a long time for this. A lot of people have been waiting many years for this. He goes, and we're going to release it all. Right. Mm-hmm. Now you have this woman being a government agency, basically.
Like, why her?
She's
this
the
is
one.
What I mean.
Like, just release the file, release all of this, and we can like with our big boy pants, we can kind of do the lifting for you guys. We don't need this woman to do this.
More than enough people on the side of the media, social media, that just between ourselves and all the people we know that are going to dig deep and do deep dives into this. But again, that's something that's good. What's silly about it is her doing it and her background and who are you? So again, like I said, the last couple of weeks, there's this 90% of this is good, and then the 10% of what they're putting in place or things that they've done, or goats wrapped up in $100 bills, and Trump just sitting at his desk, letting the kid pick his nose and put the booger on the desk and just sitting there meek. Like, that's the 10% that I'm like, I don't understand that. Right. Why that's moving so fast.
But I mean, not only that, but look, this right here, this guy calls it out right here. Trump said JFK-related documents are declassified and to be released in 15 days. It's been 15 days. Now they're giving us a committee for disclosure. Seems like they're just cherry picking. He also said he'd end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. It's been how many months now? He's been.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, come on, guys. Like, he says
the price of food has not gone down.
Price of gas hasn't either. But I mean,
price of gas hasn't.
It might take a while. I'm not going to give him that, but.
No, Gregory, it must happen now. He said he said he could do everything with a swipe of his pen, but that's how he talks. That's how he talks. As much as I'm joking about how it needs to be done now, he talks that way. And it's like, don't get people all excited, win their vote, and then cherry pick or just sort of sit in the fields and let the tall grass cover you and nobody knows where you're at. It's just like, pop your head out of the fields, say this is what you're going to do, and do it. Have you noticed today I'm a little jacked up about all this?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, it's been a long time coming. And
especially after Toronto's thing yesterday. And I'm like, oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how people can't see it, but I get why they wouldn't want to see this. The things that Trump is putting into place. And even Elon Musk. I was looking back through my notes on Elon, and boy, oh boy, you guys just go watch the show that I did on Elon. I think it was called like Elon and the Mark of the Beast. I did part 1 and part 2. Part 2 was interesting because it had like this nanny. I don't know if I believe that woman. She was like this supposed nanny of Elon Musk, and like she describes these stories of him like opening up a portal in his bedroom. There's a bunch of fluff and stuff, no evidence at all. But the first part, I did this whole thing on Elon Musk, how he got into SpaceX. Essentially, he flew on a plane to Russia, like going to go look at some bombs with a CIA agent, Michael Griffin of In-Q-Tel. He was on his way over to Russia talking to Griffin saying, hey, we should go in a partnership. I want to get onto SpaceX. And then this Griffin guy became the NASA administrator in 2005. And he awarded SpaceX $396 million. and SpaceX had never launched a rocket. They didn't even like prove that they could launch a rocket. This guy who was former CIA became like a head of NASA, a NASA administrator, gives Elon Musk $396 million. So that right there should tell you something. And then in 2008, in December, SpaceX like was on the verge of bankruptcy. He contacts Griffin, and Griffin awards SpaceX with like this $3.5 billion buyout. So like 85% of SpaceX is owned by NASA and the federal government. The rest is Elon Musk and like private investors.
And hands up anybody here who trusts NASA. Like if you're watching this show, we all know better. So right there, the sniff test ain't sniffing.
But I'm just saying, like, NASA never went away. It just got divested into Elon Musk. Yeah. And like Jeff Bezos, you think he really knows anything about space? No, this is all government agencies. Like, they're just going to the private sector, so they don't have to pay for it.
It's laundering of money. They're just finding more unique ways to launder money.
Well, and it's skirting around government agency rules. Like you have regulations when you're an agency. You have like rules you have to go by. But if you're a private entity, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. Right.
As long as you abide by whatever rules that they set forth. And it's just there's a lot that goes into like the whole financial thing. And then like Starlink. I mean, hello. Did you see the Super Bowl ad?
Yeah.
This got me super concerned, dude. I'm just going to play this commercial.
Every one of those commercials got me super worried.
So I've been saying for a long time that Starlink is going to be the one world internet to take over the one world order. Now they're joining forces with T-Mobile.
Yeah.
So you're going to get your cell phone linked up to your one world internet. And everybody's going to be sharing and be tracked and surveilled via Starlink and T-Mobile. And that's just the start, dude. That is just the start.
Yeah. Yeah, every one of those commercials. Like I used to, before I was awake, I'd watch the Super Bowl commercials and laugh and not obviously look for any of the stuff we're looking for. Now I'm just sitting back and all I could see AI taking over. People are aliens and lizards. Surveillance. You had this whole Pfizer commercial, which I found hilarious, being like, you of all people are putting out this commercial for AI. Like this thing here, I'm like, you caused all this, guys, in the last few years with rapid cancer. Hey, cancer. Yeah, hey, cancer. The reason why you have cancer right now is because of this right now. I have friends going through it who just got cancer all of a sudden, and they've had four shots, and they were like, I wish I never took it.
Well, yeah, with that, like this whole thing, this Pfizer is fighting for 8 cancer breakthroughs by 2030. Sure does sound like Project Stargate to me. Mm-hmm. And it sure does sound like Cancer Moonshot, the Joe Biden campaign. They were working on this ending cancer by 2030. It's a reconfiguration, redeployment of the exact same platforms, dude. Like,
and do they invest in hurting people the last couple of years with the magic juice or the jibby jibby, whatever,
right?
To then say, hey, we can fix that when most of those people, probably a good percentage of those people won't trust it. That's why I'm kind of thinking being like, okay, if they caused the problem, here's the solution, which is what they do all the time.
Right.
But the problem they caused is the lack of trust now. Like there's zero trust in anything, like hospitals and medications. And maybe this AI mRNA vaccine will cure cancer, and it could help with stem cells and people being able to walk again, or blind person able to see again. But how would anybody trust that because of the last 4 years? So do you destroy it on purpose, but then make people awake to what you did? It's kind of a little ass backwards.
Yeah.
Being like,
well, and, I put it out on X saying, wouldn't it be diabolical if Trump rolled out Operation Warp Speed to purposefully give people sickness so that way he could be the one to cure them of the sickness later? right? Problem, reaction, solution. Like you got to create a problem.
Like,
To
I
solve
know it
another
sounds like
thing.
we shit on Trump here, folks. He's a billionaire. He doesn't care about any of us. He doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. I mean, why should he? He's just doing what's best for his legacy, like Greg is saying, leaving that legacy, being the one that cured cancer. But then we forget about the one who pushed the which caused some rapid turbo cancers. So I just look at it being like, hey, I don't think he's in charge right now. I don't think the president ever is in charge. Like, let's be realistic here. Like, every president is a puppet. They're all puppets. And I was thinking, like, there's two cabals right now. There's the old cabal and the new cabal. And the new cabal is is controlling Trump. Like, I keep hearing the two sides of that. What's your thoughts on that, Greg?
Well, yeah, I mean, just to finish the idea for me, I think that the whole medicine thing has been stained, right? I think that like the jib jab was deployed. It was not effective, right? We can look back at this and look at the data now. We can clearly see that, yes, it wasn't effective, right? So people don't trust it. They don't want to take it. So why are you coming out with this Project Stargate now, like on your second day in office? That's just really fishy. It just turns people off, right? But instead of really digging into that and going like, what are you really trying to do here, Trump? It seems like people are turning a blind eye and they're avoiding the tough questions, because that has been the concern this whole time, is that when you finally get quote unquote your guy in and your guy wins, even though wins what, like something that you didn't trust 4 years ago, he won a race that you guys never got a solution to how you actually win this thing, but apparently he won. And so now it's okay.
That's a very good point.
Right. And so it's like, okay, but now he comes in and okay, well, he's going to change things, but wait a second. He has, the head of Pfizer and the head of blah, blah, blah come up on stage during his campaign, talking about how he gave so much money to them. And then he has like the Adelson family giving him $100 million. And it's, well, what does this woman want you to do for her? And, like you have to look at who is giving Trump money and what do they want? Now, if you look at this whole, the cabal getting a facelift, I think that's what they're doing right now. I think that this whole thing with, putting things in the limelight and using brute force and kind of like trying to intimidate. I think that's what Trump is doing even with Gaza and Israel. I think Trump saying the U.S. is going to take over Gaza. If you look at Benjamin Netanyahu's face, it didn't look like he knew what Trump was talking about. No. He kind
of was like,
what?
You squeeze me?
You're going to take over Gaza? Me? I don't think so. Right? Yeah. So he might be doing some double entendre here, and I'll give him the chance for that, because I do think that he does do these things willy-nilly sometimes. But on the other hand, you completely lose people. Like, he lost me.
That's what I mean. He's losing a lot of people. He really is. I'm looking into, I'm reading all the comments and people being like, what did we get ourselves into? Like, this is not what I expected. And you still have those people say, well, he wants to keep his enemies closest to him. The bottom line, he's losing part of his base that starts to question. And when you start to question, like we are with medicine and we are with the FBI and CIA and any of these things, you don't get that back. Like, there's going to be a point now, like there is a point now that I don't think there's anything Trump could do for me to be 100% like I used to be with him, because I'm just seeing too much. And it really comes down to the warp speed and the whole, not addressing the 2020, thing that got stolen. And I'm just like, this is important. So now, and my thing is, if you were going to try to dissolve this whole cabal, if you want to call them that, right? And even, they've been called that in Time Magazine. Time Magazine, after 2020 election, they came out and said a cabal helped get Biden elected. So I'm like, okay, whatever that means. And you have, if you're going to try to do this, you have to kind of play the game.
right? And
Oh,
so
definitely.
so I kind of see where people are saying, like, dude, it's not like he can just come out and call out these people and say, you're gone, you're done, we're gonna, because that's how you get your head popped, like a JFK situation, right? So, but my thing is, like, if he even was kind of in that ballpark, he would have been gone a long time ago, right? And trust me, if we're watching him, the people with a lot to lose, and they got all this evidence on their back, and they know that they can crumble the house down, and they know that they're going to go down too, they're watching him even closer. And so if they're saying, and they have all these models, and they're going, hey, look, Trump's kind of doing all these right things, but then he's also getting off the track here. You know, what he said about Gaza, what he's doing over here with this, like, blah, blah, blah. So people are watching his every move. So I'm wondering, how do you actually successfully take this beast down? And that's where I just go, I don't know if he's even trying at this point. I don't know if it's like, because if he is, it looks like it's very superficial. He's doing like the USAID stuff. He's exposing the stuff that we already know about, right? We know that government spending is ridiculous. And yes, it's nice. I think it needs to be exposed. That's great. USAID, get rid of it, right? And like Doge was basically USDS. It was Obama created the USDS department back in 2009, 10, whatever. And Trump just rebranded it as Doge.
Yeah, he created it in his first term.
Right. Yeah, Obama did. Yeah. So it's not like he's doing any, like, he's not like, I don't know, like going against the grain that much. But I just think that there's a lot of exposing right now that people are getting excited about. But it's distracting them.
And that's the 90%. That's the 90% that we're all like, ah. And then it's the 10% we're like, ooh, wait a minute. You know, and you're going to keep hearing me say that. He's doing enough to please those, even Greg and I, who were like, oh, all right, this is good. But then we're like, wait a minute, this is
well, to
sketchy.
be fair, he got in on January 20th, right? January 21st was his first day. So it hasn't even been a month yet. And it sure does seem like he's picking up full steam, and this is very different than his first term. I will put it that way.
Yes.
Right?
I was thinking that.
Very organized, very structured, and things are getting done. So this could just be the peak of the iceberg, and, you know, all the water will recede and we'll see what's down there. You know what I mean? And that's where we just have to kind of wait and see, because he could pull the rug out on people that I think that he's going to. I think that he's building this trust to stab people in the back. I think that he will do that, especially if he fits this Antichrist model. That's called for in this term, is that you would have Trump eventually go away, and then Elon Musk, or this false prophet, would carry the Trump name in his own sake, right? And that's what the false prophet does, is carries the image of the beast and projects it as like hey, we must remember what got us here. You know what I mean? Like, our Lord Savior Trump led us to this point. We wouldn't have gone here without Trump, you know? So it's like one of those things that I'm watching both sides of this, but I hate when people just think that they know everything. You know what I mean? Because, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Trump's a good guy and he's trying to do the best. But maybe he's not. And everybody has to be open to that. But, like, there's people that have YouTube channels that are just like, Trump is it. Trump is the Antichrist. Absolutely 100%. And then if you leave a comment like I did on one of these channels, and I go, well, are you sure? If it's like, how do you know he's not reading the Bible and people aren't manufacturing this to make it look like the end times? Because they know that you guys will get sucked into this. They'll be like, dude, let's play this out as the end of the world. And then when Jesus doesn't come, we can play it off as, hey, we have a new religion for you. Because that's what they're trying. I mean, I've talked about this with Ryan Gable. I had him on like with the Manufactured Prophecy episode. I've heard Timothy Alberino talk about this. I've heard many people talk about this, where they will fake the end times to get you in despair because Jesus won't come.
And
when
then
he doesn't
create a new religion, right? You're
Right.
saying you're going to, yeah.
Yeah. And that's where the Elohim come back and all this, like the alien stuff. And that's what the alien stuff is preparing you for a new God. That's what I think is they want you eventually to go, oh, these were the people that invented us. And that's why I think the Raelians will be the final religion eventually. But
listen, if they got a good health plan, I'll join. I don't care. You know, a universal health plan.
well, I mean, it's like a cult. I think they have sex a lot. Unprotected, so
well, we know Elon won't be in that group. That's for
true.
Sure.
That's true. Maybe he should be the leader then. You know,
two fathers and a chemistry set. Elon.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're
So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much where I think this whole Trump thing and just the Trump and Elon relationship is very concerning. And the fact that people aren't worried about it worries me.
I'm starting to think a lot of the people who still say to our face or on the comments, no, everything's okay. I'm starting to think now they're starting to see it. Like I'm starting to, because I'm seeing it in the comments being like, oh, I was so blind to this. And like this week he just did this. And it just made me, reconsider their thoughts on a lot of this. And that's all we're saying is, use your discernment, reconsider a lot of your thoughts. Don't put anybody on a pedestal.
Right.
Which is that's so dangerous. That's so dangerous, and it's just like, guys, listen, to finish off, if we're about to finish off here, all these people that we thought were going to get arrested or in Gitmo or have done all these things, they're all sitting in the audience at the SNL 50, Saturday Night Live 50 anniversary. I'm seeing Spielberg. I saw Tom Hanks there pretending to be a MAGA guy, not wanting to shake the host's hand.
Right, because he was black.
Because he was black. And I'm like, wasn't these guys supposed to already been taken out? Weren't they supposed? No, none of this. That was done to, I don't know what that was done for, but all these people are not looking scared to me. Right. Like maybe P. Diddy is not in jail. Maybe he's just off in Valhalla on Island somewhere chilling, and they're just using this to distract us, because I don't think any of that's ever going to be exposed. Not when you're all hanging out. All the pedos that we think there are, just,
right. We'll see. I mean, I definitely don't think the whole ship's going down. I think that they're gonna cherry pick. They're probably gonna cherry pick those people that went against Trump to make it look like, oh, look, this is why they were against Trump, because they didn't want him to reveal their secrets, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to use that.
It all needs to crash. Like all that stuff with the kids needs to be exposed. Like again, same thing. That 2020 and the jibba jab super medicine, like that's where I'll turn a page and go, oh, okay.
Right.
Maybe something is happening. But for right now, looks like Agenda 2030 is, rocketing. They're going to pass some really good things, but it's that 15 or 10% that gets me scratching my little Canadian noggin and going, okay,
right.
I don't know about that.
So plane crashes continue. I think that, we're going to see some more. I think that a cyber attack will happen. I think they're going to use this as a transitional pivot point to get us onto Starlink, the one world internet. We need a crash. We need the cables, the underwater cables that feed our internet service. Those need to be severed to get us on the cloud, the satellite Starlink. So I think that's going to be soon. I think that we're all going to be on Starlink soon.
When you say soon, like this year?
I could see it probably within a year.
Maybe
like
around
it up
when the Diddy stuff comes out, and they were going to make it look like they crashed it because they don't want information getting out, and the real reason is because they're setting it up for this. So okay,
right,
Yep. I thought it was going to happen at the Super Bowl this year. I really thought some plane was going to land inside the Super Bowl, or there was going to be a blackout or cyber attack, or something would happen to Trump. But obviously now I'm getting more educated on why Trump was there, because of the Colosseum and the whole Roman thing. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, and isn't it interesting? I mean, you have the Caesar Dome. Trump was there, the first sitting president as a Caesar, looking over the gladiators, right, in the sport. Mm-hmm. And then you have this woman tweet out, alia iacta est.
Yep.
Where Caesar
Yep.
defeated the Roman Senate and became ruler.
And that's why I was saying earlier, like it's not a coincidence that she put that on part of her tweet.
Right.
There's a reason why.
Yep.
And I know it gets very deep for some people and they can't follow along, but just, the surface layer stuff, you just got to use discernment. I think more and more people are starting to see it now, being like, this is not kind of what I want. But then when he gets rid of income tax, and
Right.
you guys, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know how many people sign up for that? I would leave Canada just to come down there. I'm only an hour and a half, about 90 minutes from the border. I'm about 9 hours from Greg. So I'll be like, Greg,
Time to get your
basement
green card,
apartment.
Flex.
That's it, man.
All right, dude. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for watching the episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube or on Rumble. Also, 5 stars, everybody. I want you to stop on go to podcast, go to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, leave us a 5-star rating, and leave us a rating. Leave us a review. I like to read those. I read them all the time. So also leave a comment. We read all the comments and we will reply to you. So yeah. All right, Flex, we will check you later, and everybody else, stay steamy.